Most people have heard of the State Street ETF SPY since it tracks the popular S&P 500 index and is actually the third largest ETF in the market by having $775 billion in assets under its management, and it's also known for being the most actively traded ETF, where it currently has roughly 70 million shares traded daily on average over the past 3 months. But what most don't realize is that there is another ETF from State Street that also starts with SPY that is now called SPYM, and then there is another ETF that starts with SPY from NEOS that is called SPYI. Each of those ETFs include SPY in the ticker symbol, and they all have their underlying index as the S&P 500, but each one is different and has their best time and place on when to use them, which is why watching this video all the way through is super important to do before you invest into any of these funds. But before we get started, my name is Sully. I run the company InvestLane, where our mission is to help others learn how to save and invest wisely to build lasting wealth. And all I ask is that if you do find value from this video, that you consider hitting the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this. With that said, the first topic to discuss here is understanding each ETF. Now, I'm going to break down a complete side-by-side comparison on the data for each of these funds shortly, but to first cover the fundamentals on each ETF, the first one to mention here is going to be the State Street SPYDER S&P 500 ETF that has the ticker of SPY. And most of you have probably heard of this ETF, especially if you follow my content, since it's heavily related to investing in the market with ETFs. But the biggest thing to realize here is that this fund seeks to provide investment results that, before expenses, correspond generally to the price and yield performance of the S&P 500 index. And so all that means is that when you buy SPY, you are getting instant exposure to top companies that are in the United States, like Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft, where they each make up roughly 5 to 8% of the weight toward the fund at the moment. And largely because of that, the technology sector has the largest weight to the fund by having 37.4% of the weight, with other top sectors being financials, communication services, and many more thereafter in the single digits. So that about covers SPY, which pretty much gives you access to instantly buy or sell or trade options on 500 of the largest publicly traded US-based companies, all within one purchase. Now, if we then mention the other State Street alternative, that is the State Street SPYDER Portfolio S&P 500 ETF with the ticker of SPYM, you can see that this ETF is the exact same, where it also seeks to provide investment results that, before fees and expenses, correspond generally to the total return performance of the S&P 500 index. So to just sum it up, SPYM also gives you instant access to the 500 largest US-based companies all in one purchase, but the biggest difference here is that SPYM has a much lower expense ratio, which is the annual cost that it takes to own the fund per year as you hold on to it. So for example, looking back at SPY, the fund has a 0.0945% expense ratio, where SPYM has a 0.02% expense ratio, and understanding this simple difference alone can easily save someone watching this thousands of dollars down the road, depending on how you invest. In fact, if we use a simple example and say that you invest $7,500 per year, which is the annual limit that you can put into a Roth IRA, and we're just going to say that you do this for 30 years and average a 10% annual return with a 0.0945% expense ratio with SPY. By doing that, that would end up costing you almost $22,000, where if that were with SPYM, that would charge 0.02% of an annual expense, that would end up being just less than $5,000 in fees, and that difference would end up saving you roughly $17,000 down the road from simply adding one more letter in the search bar before you buy the investment. But this is where things get interesting, and what most don't know is that there is another ETF that starts with SPY, but now is through the company NEOS as the NEOS S&P 500 High Income ETF with a ticker of SPYI. This fund instead seeks to distribute high monthly income generated from investing in the constituents of the S&P 500 index and implements a data-driven call option strategy. And the most important thing to understand here is the fund's investment objective, where you can see it states that it seeks a high monthly income but in a tax-efficient manner, where you can still reap the potential for upside appreciation in rising markets. And below that, you can see distributions made by the fund have been classified as a return of capital and may be comprised of option premiums, dividends, capital gains, and interest payments. To help clarify what this means, understand this carefully, because return of capital is a distribution made by an ETF to its investors that is classified as a return of the investor's original investment. So, unlike dividends or interest income, return of capital is not considered income and is not immediately taxable. Instead, it reduces the investor's cost basis in the ETF and can be particularly useful for ETFs that use option writing strategies to generate an income. So to sum up SPYI, the fund uses the S&P 500 as its underlying exposure to the top companies, but it adds option strategies to enhance the income and pay that out on a monthly basis to its investors, while offering the ability for most of the income you earn to defer taxes until the time that you sell the fund down the road. But knowing that, before I go over when it's best to use each, let's now go over the data to each by showing a simple side-by-side comparison. But before we continue on, this video is sponsored by Tello Mobile, which is a budget-friendly wireless provider offering flexible phone plans at an affordable rate. For just $25 a month, you'll get unlimited everything on America's largest 5G network. And what I like is that you can easily build your own plan based on what you need, and you can upgrade or downgrade at any time for free. Not to mention, but they also include features like free Wi-Fi calling, international calls to over 60 countries, and eSIM support. And with a 4.5 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot from thousands of reviews, they built a strong reputation in the industry. So if you want to check them out and see if you can lower your monthly phone bill, I'll have a direct link in the description below for you. Now, when it comes to a side-by-side comparison for each of these ETFs, the first ETF is SPY, where the fund initially launched in January of 1993. It has roughly $775 billion in assets under its management, a 0.0945% expense ratio, 503 holdings, where the top 10 make up almost 39% of the entire fund's weight, where we then have technology exposure at 37.4% of the weight, a dividend yield of 0.99% paid out on a quarterly basis, where over the past 3 years, it's averaged about 21.5%. The past 5-year average was about 13%, and then over the past 10 years, it has averaged just over 15% per year. Overall, SPY is a solid ETF, and there is a reason why it's the third largest ETF in the market. But if you are one solely looking to invest for the long term, notice the difference here with SPYM, where the first thing to point out is that it is a much smaller ETF, although it's still a large one, where it has $144 billion in assets under its management, a 0.02% expense ratio, and pretty much all the rest of the data is very similar to SPY, since they both track the exact same equity holdings. But as you invest into SPYM over time, you'll see slightly higher returns, where you can see over the past 10 years, the fund has averaged 15.24% per year on average, and over time, that can make a significant difference as you invest. And so just to show you how good that is for long-term investors, if you had $100,000 invested in the S&P 500 over the past 10 years and didn't add any more funds into it, then you would have turned $100,000 into now being worth $413,000. But that is solely from owning the true holdings of the S&P 500, where if we now look at the NEOS SPYI ETF that uses option strategies to generate a higher income, you can see that SPYI launched in August of 2022, so it only has 4 years to look back at, where I typically like to look back at 10 years and up. But the fund already has $10 billion in assets under its management, which is very strong to see, and it has a much higher cost to owning it, that is 0.68%, which is due to the management team that is actively managing this fund. But from there, you can see that the fund has 511 holdings, the top 10 make up 39.5% of the entire weight, and technology has just over 36% of the weight toward the fund. But crazy enough, it's paid out an annual income of 11.73%, which is also paid out on a monthly basis. Now realize that the choice to go for an income is offset by the potential returns, because over the last year, the fund has grown about 6% less by growing 25% as of April 30th of 2026. And then over the past 3 years, it's averaged about 16% per year. And like I said, we don't have enough data to go further back on. All right, so now that you know the difference between these three ETFs in detail, let's now finish this off and go over exactly when to use each. To start it off with SPYI, because the fund gives you instant access to the S&P 500 and has the highest trading volume in the market, SPY is recommended to those that are looking to actively trade. From there, we then have SPYM that is very similar. It has the exact same holdings, but now just a slightly lower expense ratio, and that is the cost to own the fund per year. So if you invest over time, that difference could end up making a decent difference. So because of that, SPYM is best for those that are simply looking to buy and hold their investment in the S&P 500 for the long term. Then the last option of the three is SPYI, where NEOS even states on their site, SPYI might fit into an investment portfolio, where they say SPYI may be considered as an alternative to existing core equity allocations as it seeks to provide a tax-efficient monthly income stream while maintaining the opportunity for upside participation when market conditions warrant. And so as a whole, SPYI is then best for those seeking a high monthly income that is also tax efficient for the use especially in a normal taxable brokerage account. But realize that currently there are two even more popular high income ETFs that are JPI, that represents stocks in the S&P 500, and JPQ, that provides exposure to stocks in the NASDAQ 100, but both of those options are not tax efficient like SPYI for the S&P 500 and QQQI for the NASDAQ 100. And just a fun fact, but QQQI even has more popularity and is even newer than SPYI, where QQQI currently has $12 billion in assets under its management. In the end, understanding each and realizing the importance of where and when you place your money is crucial, because if you don't pick wisely, it could really cost you. Which also realize that you don't have to own each of these. They all have the right time and place, but at least being aware of the difference and what type of investments are out there for you to choose from, I believe is crucial to improving your decision making, which is my entire goal with creating this content and running the startup that I just launched called InvestLane. Now, to thank you for watching this video, if you are interested to see data on all these ETFs and many other top ones in the market, I highly recommend checking out our free index fund cheat sheet that we've created at InvestLane that I'll have linked in the description below. And while you're at it, if you want to get started on a new investing platform or even high yield savings accounts, I'll have direct links below to some of the top options that you could get started with. And please know, at the end of the day, I want you to do what's best for your finances, but do know that depending on the ones you choose to get started with, I may earn a commission for it, which is greatly appreciated. And as always, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications button for future content like this.